intro Yo. This what gonna be like? This what you gonna do? This what you gonna do? You're gonna just
Nooms is very annoyed at my breathing this evening.
straight gonna breathe into the mic after. Alright, cool. You didn't change the titles.
I didn't change the titles. Huh, okay, let me go do that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already live, so it's not like it's gonna...
Korean Manifesto. Top Shows Podcast. Did you update it? Do. Cause I
Yes.
Let me double check, cause sometimes it doesn't update on Twitch 100% right. All right, cool. It did.
And while doing that, my camera went off again.
Yeah, and Zadie just asked, "Are we gaming tonight?"
No, the title was wrong. That's my bad. I did that. That was my fault. So sorry.
Well, Twitch allows you to change it midway through. I don't know if the other ones, like, if they actually update when you're live. The other ones, though, we don't update throughout the week, so it's not as bad. It might just have the wrong title, to which you have to go in and change later. Hey, Biggs! And I'm assuming we are here means Grandma Gloria is there as well. That's my assumption to we, and not that he magically became royalty at some point and didn't tell me, because that would be rude.
That would be rude.
Oh, no, he means himself and Livy.
Nice. He and the dog are here.
Yes.
Cool.
Zadie's here, and Phoenix is here.
I've heard preachers in the past talk about preaching the gospel to pets.
I mean, I can see that. I can see that because, welcome, Grayson.
Grayson?
I can see that because, here's the reason. There's a thought process called the rubber duck in technology that
Okay.
when you are working on an idea and designing a system or designing a page or designing something, that you should talk to the rubber duck on your desk and explain it to them. So that way you hear it out loud.
Yeah.
And can, even if you're doing it in your head, you hear your thought process as opposed to just having the thought process. And then you go, oh, wait, no, that will never work. And even though the rubber duck's not helping you, it ends up helping you, which is one of the reasons, not the only reason, one of the reasons you'll see trinkets and items like that, little toys and that kind of stuff, monkeys, and I have a monkey, a squid, and a baboon on my desk, and you talk to them when you need to get something out, like so that you are explaining it to somebody.
Gotcha.
And now our faces are live.
All right. Hello and welcome to Season 3, Episode 61 of the Breed Manifesto. Faith, hope, and love for the modern Christian. I'm Pastor Bill, and I'm joined by my illustrious co-host, where are you? Right here, Pastor Nooms, all the way from the cold, frigid northern wasteland of Tennessee.
Oh no, it's 50 degrees today and raining. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, the snow's gone. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is
We,
even
we,
more funny. We
got up to 45 today with 15 to 20 mile an hour wind gusts, and they're forecasting an even deeper drop in temperatures this evening. So
we had several days of hot, and then
Mhm.
it froze and snowed.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had a couple of days where it de-thawed but didn't rise real high. And then, like, the night we went to the first Whataburger to open in Tennessee in over 40 years, because it closed in the 80s. We went there, waited in line for 3 hours to, what's wrong? Yeah,
40
yeah, you're old now.
40 years.
Today. You're
I'm
old
old
now today.
as of an hour ago.
Yep, an hour ago you got old. And I didn't say happy
Turned
birthday
40.
on purpose for our whole pre-conversation and the whole day to wait till right now, just so that way I
So that
could
it would
rub
hit
in
me.
the fact that you're 40 for the first time out of my mouth here.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
On live on camera.
Yep, live on camera. So, we left the house and it was 52 degrees when we left at 4:45. By the time we got home, it was like 31 in the 3 to 4 hours we were gone. And then Thursday and Friday it snowed, and so the girls were out of school, and Pastor Bill's camera just went down again because Teams hates him. And then
My own son
yeah,
on the Twitch channel. I
that's messed
forgot it
up.
was your birthday.
That's messed up.
Rude.
That's messed up. Um, are you gonna turn your camera back on, or are we just going without
It
your
won't
camera?
let me.
Oh, okay.
It won't come back on.
That is some kind of special. Cool. Um, then the
Hey, there it
Saturday
goes.
it was kind of cold and started to melt. It was in the, high 30s, low 40s, and today it's 54 degrees and raining. So it's
Nice.
been just a nutso of a weather system here in Nashville. But on bigger news, your son forgot your birthday, which worries me greatly because he's just across the house.
Well, we didn't really make a big deal out of it today.
You never do.
So, well, we usually go out and have a meal or something, but we didn't do that. So,
I hate birthdays. Anyway. I don't like celebrating birthdays.
Okay. So anyway. I'm going to have to start running my camera through OBS or something because Teams just does not want to use my Razor camera. Just straight up.
It hates your camera, homie. We'll have to, after tonight, we'll have to set something up. You'll have to fiddle with it throughout this evening, and then we'll work on fixing it tomorrow. And in the meantime, we'll just get really great video from you all night. And I don't even have a creation where you're the little and I'm the big. No, I don't.
You never set up an aspect ratio for you to be the host?
We haven't had to since we switched over to using this. So, yeah. I'm trying to find the thing that lets me change it in real time.
Anyway,
Anyway,
how was your week?
my week was good. My week was very busy. Um, but other than my week being really busy, it was good. Um, yeah. Um, we played some Borderlands. Um,
Yep.
we finished the main story, which was good, in our gaming with the pastors.
It was really anticlimactic though. Like
Um,
it was more of a challenge getting to the end of the game than the actual end of the game.
and that's part of the point, actually, because if you notice, it just continues like nothing actually happened. It's
Yeah,
just
like
like
nothing actually happened. It was like, congratulations,
you killed a
life goes
giant
on.
interdimensional monster called
Ah,
the Destroyer.
spoilers. What if somebody hasn't played through it before?
I
Why would you do that?
I'm gonna be honest. That game is so old. I
I
don't
hadn't
mind.
played through it.
Yeah, well, yeah, not that worried about it. And I didn't say how you get to the end. Just said at the end you destroy a monster. If you play a game and at the end you don't get to defeat a giant monster called something that's trying to destroy everything, what kind of game are you playing?
Puzzle game, a relaxing game, a mining simulator game, a farm life simulator game.
You know, sometimes I just I get done with you. Now everyone gets to see me adjust this in real time because
Big says Mario, but even in Mario, you fight a bad guy at the end.
multiple bad guys.
Sometimes multiple.
What what else is it? Oh, this needs moved here and then needs to be made
There was
small.
there was Mario Brothers, not Super Mario Brothers, but Mario Brothers that came out in between Donkey Kong and Super Mario Brothers,
Mhm.
where Mario and Luigi come out of pipes at the bottom, and then bad guys come out of the pipes at the top. And
Mhm.
there's no
Yep.
boss battles in that game. You just compete against the other player to see how many of the little monsters you can squash in each round.
Yeah, I do remember that. That was an interesting game. I now have it fixed to where I am big and you are little. Um,
And in Super Mario Brothers 3, if when it's your turn to choose a level and you're playing with someone else, if you choose the other person's character as the level, it will launch regular Mario Brothers, and you can play regular Mario Brothers against the other person.
really, that I did not know.
Yeah,
Or I had forgotten. I don't know which.
they hid it in the coding of Super Mario Brothers 3. So there you go.
That's
So how was
always
my week?
fun.
My week was cold. Um, Slow, relaxing. Had a doctor's appointment.
Mhm.
I got an adjustment on my medication, which turned out fantastic.
Your medication? What's that?
My magication turned out fantastic. I feel great, so that's awesome.
Okay.
My medication, that stuff. Anyway, it's time for getting to know the pastors. So,
I don't like not being able to see you. It really irritates me.
it's weird. I don't know what to do about it, man.
I know. And I don't like being the big face. Just saying. At all. Not even a little.
Hey, now maybe Deluxe stay on this time. All right. If you had to delete all but 3 apps from your smartphone, which ones would you keep?
Well, here's a question. What about all the apps you're not able to delete? I'm assuming these are apps that you can add yourself, right?
Right.
Okay.
Not like the bloatware that you're required to have by the phone company or the carrier. What 3 Fs?
Discord,
Mmm.
influence,
Influence. What's influence?
and probably Spotify. So influence is a game that is as some people know, I delete and start playing new games a lot. I actually have multiple ways that games are stored on my phone. I've got this area that has just games that come and go, right? And then I actually have a folder of games, right? And the folder of games are games that I don't remove just because of time. The other games can come and go. I get bored with them. I delete them. I install and delete on average about 10 games a week. Just because I love trying new games and seeing if I like it. Influence is the game that I've had on my phone the longest. Um, I want to say this is either the third or fourth phone that Influence has been on. Um, and it's just a game that I love from a company called Terramok Games. It's either a 2 or 3 person development team that they don't do it full time, and it's a phenomenal game. And
Okay.
it that's how it looks, and the point of the game is to take over an area with your color.
Okay then.
So, and it has been on my phone the longest of any game that I have, and I absolutely love it because it's just an advanced form of, it's a strategy game, turn-based, and it's great because I can do it unless it's against four super. You can play it with up to 4 computers and yourself, so up to 5 colors on the map. Um, unless it's 4 of the hardest that they just released this year, end of last year. They released a new algorithm for one of their characters. Unless it's 4 of those, I can play it mindlessly while I'm doing other things. So I'm often just, you know, moving the people over, while I'm doing completely other things, watching TV, doing other, because it's just, it's almost a fidget for me at this point. Um, so, but they recently released a new version, a new part that are challenges that are a lot harder, and I actually have to focus on, which makes me really happy. So now there's 2 parts of the game. The mindless part I can do, and then. So what about you? What would you leave on your phone?
Discord, just like you. Star Trek Fleet Command. I don't play that often on my actual PC, and my hours at my desk are limited anyway, because my wife works overnight, and then she needs to sleep, and so I can't be at my desk click clacking away at the keyboard and whatnot, because my office is literally, I can reach out and touch my bed from my desk. So, shared space. Got to respect the lady who works those hours. I almost said the lady of the night, but she's not a lady of the night. She's an Uber driver.
That is not how we're going to refer to your wife ever.
No, we're not going to refer to her wife as lady of the night. And so, I would keep Star Trek Fleet Command. And then for my third app, I guess it would have to be Netflix.
You do enjoy having some way to watch TV on your phone because it helps you go to sleep at night.
Helps me go. Well, I can use the iPad for that, yeah. But like when I'm cooking something or doing any, loading the laundry machine, the washing machine with clothes, or just anything I'm doing, I I put on background noise, some show that's familiar that I've already seen to just occupy my mind while I'm doing the things.
Yep.
You know, to help. Because if I don't have that thing that I've already chosen to occupy my mind, then my mind will get distracted, and I'll find myself off task. I'll be jumping bunny trails, and be like, oh, this back door to the house needs this and this and this done, and then it'll be 8 hours later, and I still haven't even started the laundry that I brought into the laundry room because I've gotten distracted by another task.
Mm-hmm. And it'll be interesting to see if your new medicine helps with that, as they've changed your medicine.
Since the new medicine I'm on is also used for ADHD, it's not why I'm taking it, but it's also used for ADHD. It'll be nice to see if things are different that way.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. Now you know a little bit more about the pastors. This podcast that you listen to right now or watching is recorded live every Sunday evening at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'd like to invite anyone who's hearing it or seeing the video afterwards to join us when we go live on Sunday evenings. You can join us on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. See us live. You know, there's a buffer. Obviously, there's a buffer. Nothing is instantaneous in the world. But you have the ability to then type in the chat box and be a part of the conversation, like Dark Grayson, who's joining us on Twitch tonight, said, let's go earlier. And my son, Tfarstrom Gerg, admitted that he forgot it was my birthday and then put some laughing faces. We got Biggs. GFG is a normal people person who joins us. We've got HPuff Phoenix, who joins us regularly. Now, Phoenix is actually typing within our Discord channel that we actually have. If you'd like to get an invite to the Discord channel, you can shoot me an email, pastorbill@ecclesianhouse.com, or simply pastorbill@ekk.house.
Which makes me so happy that we have that.
Yeah, much easier to spell and remember. So if you'd like to send me an email and join our Discord server, you can also go to our website, ekk.house, and see what Twitch channel, what Facebook profile, and what YouTube channel you can go to watch the live. Other than the live and the videos that we have on those platforms, I have a... What's the word?
Facebook?
TikTok. I have a personal TikTok where I post videos sometimes. Pastor Nooms has a personal TikTok. So if you want to go look us up and find us, that would be fun. We also have our Gaming with the Pastors that we do when we have the time, where we stream games that we play. Currently, we're going through the old Borderlands games. Why are you laughing?
Because you just called it old.
It is old. You said it earlier. It's old.
I know.
The Borderlands games, which have been fun, and the whole purpose of there is to come, hang out, get to know us. We get to know you. We talk about just whatever. If you're a Christian, it's a great place to hang out with other Christians. If you're not a Christian, it's a great safe space to just come hang out. And we're not trying to force you into anything. We literally just want to hang out with you. Now, at some point, if you want to ask us questions, we'll be there to answer. But we're not there to shove anything down your throat. We're literally there to just to game and hang out with you and create a safe space to hang out and have fun and watch us play games. And someday we may play something that you can then get on and join us as we play. We were doing New World at one point, that MMO, but it had issues.
I think it's gonna be a good game in 2 years, but that's beside the point. This isn't about gaming, but I think it'll be good in about 2 years.
About 2 years, Nooms gives it for New World to get good. So we'll see. All right. So the title of tonight's podcast is In the Name. And I thought it would be a good idea. You're moving your face funny. Pastor Nims, what do you refer? Why are you?
Continue.
Why are you making faces?
16 minutes ago, well, somewhere between 11 and 23 is when all the news reports have come out. Bob Saget has passed at age 65 in Orlando. So, yeah, just interesting.
So 2021
It's just starting off with a bang.
took Betty White, and 2022 was like, I see you're Betty White, and I raise you a Bob Saget.
I wouldn't say I raise you. It's just.
Oh, come on. Everybody's TV father. Full House.
Not as good as
a
Betty
house
White.
staple. America's Funniest Home Videos. The host for like 20 years.
Yeah, but no, I still liked Betty White more. I like Bob Saget, don't get me wrong. I prefer Betty White. But
all right,
it is a shock, and he will be missed, and that's sad.
I'm shocked he made it this far. Have you heard his secular comedy routine? His non-family friendly comedy routine?
Yes, there were times where he was heavily involved in a lot of things aside from what we see as TV's dad.
Yeah.
But it's amazing the things you hear on Galaxy Chat in Star Trek. All of a sudden it just started blowing up, and I was like, what is that going on over there? And then it was like, oh, that's not what I want to. Okay. Anyway.
All right, let's get a little nerdy.
Get a little nerdy?
Yeah. We're going to get a little nerdy.
Why are we getting nerdy? We've already been nerdy.
Because I'm a nerd.
That's true.
And I nerd out for this stuff.
You do. You love the
all right.
deep in text.
So, can you tell me what the name of God is?
No.
No, you can't. You can't tell me what the name of God is.
I can tell you what some people referred to him as. I can tell you what some people wrote down about the name is, but the actual name is interesting.
I can tell you what God calls himself
Yep.
in the Hebrew language.
Yep.
The emphasis there on the Hebrew language.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it is definitely not something that is as well known as people like to say it is.
Right.
We have names of God, things that the Bible referred to him as in Hebrew.
But even then, it's not names of God. Those are descriptions of God's character.
Yep.
Which is why Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah, these are all descriptions.
Which is why I put quotation marks that everyone else couldn't see.
Yeah, but in the podcast, no one can see your quotations.
It was heavily implied. My voice has its own quotation marks.
Okay. All right, so the only time that God ever actually calls himself by name in the Bible is in Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 14. In English, we say it as, I am that I am. And if you'll go and you'll look it up, you want to type that in for me, Ezekiel 3:14, because I got too many windows open, and if I try to move them, I'm going to lose my camera again. If we look in the scriptures, when you read I am that I am.
Not how you spell Ezekiel.
It's in all caps, meaning this is not actually meant to be read as I am that I am. This is an actual name, a holy name. And we've made it all caps so that you would understand that we thought the name was too holy to actually write down. And so we wrote down
Wait,
the equivalent.
where did you say it was?
Exodus 3.
Why did I write Ezekiel?
Exodus 3:14.
Why did I write and hear Ezekiel?
I have no idea. What's in Ezekiel 3:14?
Nothing close to what we're talking about.
Really? What does it say?
I've already left it, but
Okay, I'll look it up in my Bible.
it is not anything to do with the name of God. I could have swore for some reason I typed Ezekiel. Nope, the chat says you did say Ezekiel. So I don't know why you're thinking about Ezekiel, but
That's hilarious.
yeah, that's why I was like, wait, no, because in the back of my mind I was thinking, but he says it to Moses, so it's not the only place. And I was about to look for it to contradict you, and I mean, I could have got to it faster than what's taking you.
Pardon my slip of the tongue.
The Spirit lifted me up and took me away. I left in bitterness and in angry spirit, and the Lord's hand was on me powerfully. So,
Definitely nothing to do with what we're talking about tonight.
nope.
As you said. All right. So, in the Hebrew, what God said there was Haya Asher Haya.
Mm-hmm.
Haya Asher Haya. Meaning, I exist because I exist. Or,
Yep.
I exist because I wanted to. Or, I exist because I always have. Or something along these lines.
I came to
Is the
pass because
implication.
I came to pass.
Yeah, I came to pass because I came to pass. I wanted to, so I did.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Now, according to the tradition, the Hebrew tradition, the name of God that we identify as the name of God was given to Moses on the mountain when he received the Ten Commandments. So the idea that everyone says, well, this is the name of God, is based around the story, not the biblical account of, but the story of, well, this is what happened on the mountain. God revealed his name to Moses. And that's where we get the name Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
It is in Greek, we call it the tetragrammaton, or in Hebrew, the tetragram. Both of those meaning a 4-letter word. And those 4 letters are Yod, He, Va, He. Or written in English, YHWH. No vowels in there whatsoever. Yod, He, Va, He. Now that second He is actually silent. So it would be Yod, He, Va, which then we pronounce as Yahweh because we have ignorant American tongues. Okay. No. It is Yahweh. I can't even pronounce it right, but it's closer to Yahweh than Yod He, Vahe, because when we're speaking, we don't say, Aaron when we read the name Aaron. Right? So it's the same thing. You don't say the name of the letter that's there. You make the sound that the letter makes. So anyway, but that last letter, the last hey is the last letter is silent. So it's actually just the 3 letters. Yahweh. Right. Now, as it is believed that the name of God isn't supposed to actually be said aloud, right? Because it's holy, so it should never pass from unholy lips,
Mm-hmm.
is the belief. When they would get to the name of God in when they were transliterating with nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just throw something up on the live
No,
that shouldn't be on the live?
tried to switch to you, and I switched to just your face, and then I switched to the title for some reason. Then I switched back, and I because I hated
That's
the
a
fact that I was big, and it was
fun video
irritating
tonight.
me. Yeah, fun video
All right.
tonight, guys.
So since God's name isn't supposed to be said aloud, or that's what they believed, nowhere in the Bible does God ever say, "Don't tell people what my name is. Don't speak my name." That was a human belief. They would substitute it with nicknames. And originally this started with you just understood that when you're reading out of the verses to the assembly, when you got to that word, you would use a nickname, an approved nickname that the priesthood had approved. And then later, like I said, the people who were transcribing over and over and over again, it became the belief that even the name of God was too holy to be written. And so then they would start using those nicknames and they would write them in all caps. Like we saw, I am that I am. They wrote it in all caps because they were using God's name, but they weren't actually writing the actual name, the actual words that God used. They were, letting you know this. He didn't actually say, I am that I am. He said the Hebrew, equivalent of I am that I am. All right. Or some semblance of that, and they cleaned it up to Haya Asher Haya, to make it flow better. Still the name, but not necessarily the exact sounds that God made when He said it. Okay, so these nicknames, you ready? You ready for these nicknames that they threw in there throughout time?
Sure.
These are some interesting nicknames. We've got Adonai. We know that one.
Right. We know that
Adonai.
one. Yep.
Elohim.
We know that one.
Even Elohim. The Elohim, though, the Canaanites use,
Mm-hmm.
the Sumerians use, the Mesopotamians use. They recognize Elohim. So that was probably an influence from, a cultural influence.
Mm-hmm.
Hashem. Curios. Dominus. That's one that the New Testament likes to use a lot. Morio. Lao. Pippi. Jave. And Aya are all nicknames that transcribers have used to indicate the name of God was used here. We shouldn't write the name of God, so we use this nickname. And then as time progressed, it became the belief that even the nicknames of God were holy. But they wrote them anyway, but after they would write them, they would break their pen and throw the pen away and start fresh with a new pen, because once that pen had written the name of God, it shouldn't be sullied by writing any other word. It should be retired from service because it wrote the nickname of God. Isn't that interesting?
It is. And in certain Jewish cultures, not totally across, but because there's different sects of Judaism and different sects of Messianic Jews, they will not use the name Jesus either, for the same reason.
Right.
They leave out a letter, or they, which is really interesting to read when you're like, wait, why is there literally a dash? A dash in the middle of the name Jesus. Like, I know that verse says Jesus. I've read that verse 1,000. Like, why is there a dash? Because they won't write it, and so they put a dash, and then they're not writing the whole name, and that's better. Um,
All right. So we're gonna get to Jesus, but we're not quite there yet.
right.
Let's talk about the name Jehovah. Okay,
Okay.
because we know this is used a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Jehovah Nisi, Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah, on and on and on and on. There's all those names. The word Jehovah, the etymology of this word, is that when it became necessary to include vowels for language, they took the word Yahweh and they took the nickname Adonai and they took the syllables from Adonai and placed them equally in between the letters of the Tetragrammaton, YHWH, to create a new word. And that word is Yehovah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we get the name Jehovah. Some person decided that Yahweh wasn't good enough and Adonai wasn't good enough. We needed a name for God that had not just
Consonants,
but also vowels. And so they merged a nickname of God with what they believed the name of God was that was given to Moses on the mountain to create Jehovah, as we say it now. Now, Jehovah, now we can start talking about things like this. The letter J, just the J, the simple J, didn't even exist when the King James Bible was translated.
Mm-hmm.
There was no letter J. The letter J is so young. It's younger than the King James Bible. In the year 1600, they still didn't have a letter J. So when you say, oh no, his name was definitely Jesus, they definitely called him Jesus. I'm sorry, they couldn't have. The letter J didn't exist yet. It wasn't a spoken letter. It wasn't a represented letter in writing. It didn't exist yet. If you go back and you get one of those copies of the Bible, you know, from early prints, it's IOESUS is the closest English transliteration for Jesus. But if you go and you look in Matthew, when the angel says, and you shall call him Jesus, the word Jesus is in all caps. And what did we just talk about that means?
Mm-hmm.
It means the angel used a name for God and that the translator substituted it with an accepted nickname and wrote it in all caps so that you would understand that he wasn't saying that word. He was saying the accepted nickname. So then we have to ask ourselves, what was Jesus' name? And some people have said, well, Yeshua. His name would have been Yeshua. Okay, number one, where did we get that from? Because I don't know. And number two, if this man had to fulfill all of the prophecies in order to be the Messiah, then his name would have been Emmanuel. Right? Not Joshua? And it certainly wasn't Jesus.
Well, it's the verses that talk about that is they shall call him Emmanuel. So it doesn't have to be his name. It's just something they would have used. Someone called him that. It's not necessarily named. It's more of a title, but that's beside the point.
Well, his name certainly wasn't Jesus.
No, no, because it didn't exist.
Yeah.
Even in the Strong's Concordance, it's the IEO.
S-U-S.
Yeah. So, and continue, because I want to see
Eosus.
where you fully get to, and then I'll say what I want to say. So.
Well, I want to hear what you want to say now.
No, I don't. No, I want you to finish.
Yeah.
No,
No, I
because I
want you to
want to
go
see
ahead.
if you get there. So no.
I don't know where I'm getting.
Exactly. Continue.
Hmm.
Yeah, you hate when I do that.
Where was I?
Jesus' name would have had to have been Emmanuel because the prophecies, but technically that's a title or a nickname or a called.
Well, no, it's a normal Jewish name. It's not a title. Anyway,
No, I mean the word called could mean multiple things. It could be just someone used the name. It doesn't have to be named. That word can be translated multiple ways, so there's always been question on that part of the prophecy. But that's what I was meaning, is the prophecy itself could mean multiple things, not Emmanuel not being a name. Because Manuel is a name.
It's still a name.
Yeah, it's still a name. Which so is Jesus. In the same people group.
It is now.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, continue.
Strangely enough, not Judas though. Nobody names their kid Judas.
Well,
have people really started using the name Judas?
um,
That's up there with naming your kid Hitler.
Continue.
Or being like, oh, look at little Stalin, ain't he cute? All right. So this word, Eosus, this, from what I can see and what I've found in study, is the pronunciation of the INRI that was written above Jesus' head while he was hanging on the cross. And this is where this word is first used for calling him that. And then it became a normal thing for them to use that name in retrospect, because it was illegal to be a Christian and it sounded so very close to saying the son of Zeus in Greek. And so it was easy to pass off as, oh no, we're not talking about that rebellious traitor who had to be put to death. We're talking about the son of Zeus. Absolutely. That's absolutely what's going on.
It looks like there's at least 100 people walking around in the United States with the name Judas.
Wow.
In 2020, there was at least 11 people named that, according to name data from censuses and things.
Wow. I mean, I'm not saying you have to be a believer, but, and name your kids according to my Christian beliefs. But it's a pretty infamous story with an infamous name, like.
Well, I think that's why some people use it. It's
because it's infamous.
Yeah, supposed to be the smack in the face of. I'm naming my kid this to be anti. I would think, and
it just feels like you're setting up your kid to fail. Like, he's gonna have that stigma on him his whole life.
And actually, the name Adolf has started to be used again.
Oh, Adolf never fell out of popularity. It was.
No.
The Hitler part.
It tanked percentage wise.
Did it really?
Oh yeah. And then now it's starting to rise again. Because I mean, Hitler is a last name. Adolf is the first name there. So anyway, not that I'm now Googling random names to see what people
name their kids.
Yeah, and often it actually is illegal in certain countries to name your kids certain things.
Well, it's illegal in Texas to name your kids certain things. I don't know what the list is, but there is a list somewhere. All right.
Sorry.
So we get to the scripture, by no other name can man be saved. And first off, we don't actually know the name of God. There is a group that will end up knowing the name of God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those who have been martyred are given are taught the secret name of God, which is interesting, and only they can learn it. I guess it's one of those things like after they say it, everyone else forgets. And they're like, I can't remember what they said. It was powerful though, but I can't remember it. But yeah, so we don't know the name of God. We know what he calls himself in Hebrew, the only time it's ever recorded in the Bible that he told us what his name is, as far as what he calls himself. Jesus then refers to himself by the same name, I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which then really makes people angry that he just equated himself with God. And so there's no other name by what any man can be saved. And then we get on to the point that you were saying about that word name. That can mean authority. That can mean nickname. That can mean title. That can mean, it's most likely in context in that verse that they're saying authority. By no other authority can man be saved.
Right.
And so I think that was everything I had for tonight.
And that's so that I can piggyback right off of that of what I wanted to say.
I wanted to go geek, and then I wanted to bring it forward to chic,
and
here we are.
So that's all you get is just exacerbated. Anyway,
your turn.
So oftentimes we have discussions, and I've been asked before, well, what does it matter? What does it matter that we had this conversation? What does it matter that we don't know? And the short answer is it doesn't.
It doesn't. Other than we're commanded to study.
Yeah, exactly.
To show ourselves approved.
And that's the whole point, is to continue with our growth of knowledge and trying to dig into things and increasing our knowledge of spiritual things is the reason for doing studies like this. The other aspect is there are people who will come against Christians and use examples like this of, hey, you don't even know the name of your God. And they're like, oh yeah, I do, because it's here. And then they get hit with some of these things and they're dumbfounded because they've never heard it, or they're defensive because they don't believe the speaker. Lots of situations like that happen because we as a culture do not always dig in as far as we should into the things that we believe. And it's an understanding that the word name that's used can mean multiple things, even something that simple. And so even though we don't know the full name of God, we know the name of aspects of God. We know certain things about God because of the names that are used in the Bible, even though they are just nicknames. And let's be honest, sometimes nicknames are more powerful and more important than regular names. Not that
because they bring definition.
Not that mine is right here
to a character,
because my name is not that.
Right.
My parents named me Jonathan, and there is nothing wrong with the name Jonathan. Do not get me wrong. I'm not avoiding the name Jonathan.
Now, let's be clear. Your name's not Jonathan. It's Jonathan.
Right.
You're not Jonathan.
I am not. Yeah. There's no H in my name.
There's no
Anyway,
H in there.
not in the first part. But the the aspect of the reason I use my nickname more than my regular name is nothing wrong with my regular name, just like there's nothing wrong with the true name of God. But the nicknames that we use are just because that's what's become normal.
That's what's
People,
become equated with our character.
yeah, people know me as Nooms.
Yeah.
There are people here in Tennessee who completely forgot my regular name, and I had to, like, when I started reaching out to people, they were like, "Who are you?" And it's like, this person. Oh, because there was points of my life that I didn't use my regular name, so it doesn't equate the same. And so nicknames are not necessarily negative in any way, which some people have that connotation. Well, if we only know
No.
the nicknames of God, there's something wrong. It's no,
But
there's not.
nicknames can also imply intimacy, right? You call someone by a nickname because you have an intimate relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, didn't mean to derail you.
No, that was my whole point. Was that
Oh, that
you?
was your whole point.
Yeah, my whole point was the fact that uh, that happens. Nicknames are important.
Nicknames are important. Um, he's keeping score on the war that we're in the Star Trek Fleet Command.
I just got killed.
So let's go back into that list of nicknames that people have substituted for God: Adonai, Elohim, Hashem, Kyrios, Dominus, Morio, Lao, Pippi,
That one I
Jave.
want to know more about.
Pippi?
That one just throws me off. I'm like, wait, what?
Pippi was created about somewhere between the year 500 and 1000 by someone who misunderstood how to pronounce certain Hebrew characters. And it just took off from there.
Humans are a special group of creatures.
Yep.
Okay,
and the
continue.
last one, Aya. Now, there is nothing wrong with using a nickname. If, when you're talking to God, you feel like Adonai or Jehovah or Jesus is the most intimate way for you to connect with the divine, not a divine, but the divine, the supreme divine is what they refer to him in the original language as. When Mary goes to talk to her cousin Martha, she doesn't say, God, the Lord, my God. No, she says the divine, the supreme divine, to indicate that of all of the supernatural things we know of, this is the one that is the top. This is the one that is the most powerful. This is the one that is the most wonderful. And she goes on to sing this song about how great the divine is and all of the great feats the divine has done, in contrast to, I'm just a young girl who's never accomplished anything, and yet God saw value. Right? And that is one of those key messages of the whole gospel message, is that you, listener, viewer, whoever, are a normal human being, and you may have accolades and things that you've accomplished in your life. When you boil it down to, you are just a bag of bones and juice and electrical impulses that God looked at and said, I see potential. God looks at you, he doesn't see the mistakes that you made, or your deficiencies, or your neuroses, or your anxieties. He doesn't see those things. He sees the potential of who you could be, without things drawing you down, without things holding you back, without things causing you to be afraid or anxious. And that's who God wants you to become. God doesn't look at you and go, well, I got to take that thing away because they like it more than me. That's not what God's doing. And God doesn't look at that thing and go, well, I gotta, do this because they're doing wrong. No. God looks at you and he goes, I see that thing in their life that's derailing them and causing them not to succeed. And I would like to remove that from their life. And then we as humans, we get attached to the things that are bad for us. And this is what John was trying to communicate when he said, the light came into the world, and he did not come to condemn the world, but the world felt condemned because the light shined on the areas where they already knew they were hurting and afraid and anxious and self-sabotaging. But as humans, we get attached to those things. Jesus came. God came to set us free from all those things that are pulling us down. Not as an excuse to continue doing the things that pull us down, but so that we literally have a choice to choose to live whole and healthy and move forward, or to choose the things that tear us down. But ultimately, the idea that sin keeps us from God doesn't exist anymore. What keeps us from moving forward is our faith or our not faith in the idea that God came as a man in order to pay the penalty for the slavery that you and I were born into. And when we accept that gift, when we receive that gift of what Jesus did, that's what we know as salvation. It's not this idea of become perfect and throw away all of your old things and yada, 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 yada. It's not that. It's this idea of, yeah, I believe that you loved me enough that you came and lived this crappy life like I did so you could understand what I'm going through. You gave yourself over to pay the price for what Adam and Eve did that I was then born into. All I have to do is believe to receive that. Now, it's not some magic switch where things are going to get better. As a matter of fact, the Bible promises that when you side with God, when you side with freedom, that things are going to get harder because the world and the things in the world are going to want to either draw you back in or fight you tooth and nail. But that internal peace and that ability to say no and not have this addiction troubling you and that thing pulling you down and this thing pulling you down. And once again, not a magic pill, but the wholeness and the prosperity. Remember, we talked about prosperity is not money. Money is one of the things that you can prosper in. But when you talk about prosperity, we're talking about wholeness, health, happiness, joy, peace, patience, all these things that make life rich and livable and enjoyable. This is prosperity, not physical things. These are salvation. If you'd like to know more about that, go to our website, ekk.house. We have a little thing at the top that says responding to God's love. You click there. I got 5 videos for you where I lay it all out. How the God that the Bible talks about, the God that I serve, the God that loves us, how to respond to that. How do we know that? How do we know God loves us? And then what to do after that. And if you need to talk about it more, you can email me, Pastor Bill, at ekk.house. You can come hang out with us when we do Gaming with the Pastors. You'll need to go follow Pastor Nooms on Twitch. And once again, you can always join us on Sunday evenings 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And this podcast comes out every Wednesday night at 7, wherever you get podcasts. And so we love you guys, and I want you to have a safe week out there.
No, I say be safe. You guys be safe out there.
And until next time. And now for those in live land, 30-second buffer, 30-second buffer, 30-second buffer. Has it been 30 seconds yet? Okay, listen, I didn't mean to say have a safe week. I meant to say have a good week, but the word safe popped out, and at the moment it popped out, I went, oh. Internally, I went, oh. I just said safe instead of good. I meant to say good. I apologize. I honestly didn't mean to say safe. I meant to say good. Because I know you like to tell people have a safe week. I'm so sorry, man. 30-second buffer.
30-second buffer. 30-second buffer.
It's time to go.
Bye. We love you guys.